The topic is drawing tangents to the circle. There are multiple cases for drawing tangents. We are first discussing the basic tangent to a circle from a point on the circle. So the definition of the tangent is a line which just touches the circle at one point only. So we will learn that how to draw tangent to a circle from a point on the circle. So let's start with the drawing. Like for example, you need to first draw a line, circle of, for example, radius 3 centimeter or 4 centimeter, and then we will draw its radius like this one from point O, let's suppose, to let's suppose it is point. So O to P will be the radius. So we will draw the tangent. The P point is lying on the on the circumference of the circle. So we will draw tangent at point P only. So how to draw the drawing tangent is very simple, that you have to just make one 90-degree angle, and for 90-degree angle you need to make P will be taken as center, and you will draw an arc like this one. So one simple 90-degree angle is required. So this is how you have to make it like this one. And I will first, you have to make one 90-degree angle like this one, and then you will simply draw a straight line like this. Making 90-degree angle, and you have to draw that angle in forward, or extrapolate the angle in forward backward direction. So this T1 dash will be the tangent to the circle, and the tangent is drawn at point P. So this was the very first case when you are asked to draw tangent to the circle from a point on the circle. And now we are going to draw the same sort of work, but for the different question. ये एक्सरसाइज 13.3 का क्वेश्चन है, और इस पे टॉपिकली हम लोग वर्क कर रहे हैं. सो दैट्स वाई जो अभी ड्रॉ किया है सर्कल टेंजेंट, दिस इज टेंजेंट टू द सर्कल फ्रॉम अ पॉइंट on the circle. If we've been asked to draw two tangents to a circle, then how to draw it? Let's suppose I change the topic as well. Just let me write it at this place. Then draw tangents to the circle on the end point of the diameters. Endpoints of the diameter. This will be done like, just explain you. Actually, it is a question within the exercise. They draw two tangents to the circle at the end point of the diameter. For that purpose, you just need to make the same thing as we have just done. You will just make complete diameter, and let's suppose you will label it as AOP. So we have already drawn one tangent at one corner of the diameter, that was point P. Now you have to repeat the same process. So by repetition of the same process, you will be get again another tangent line on this side, that will be at sort of vertex A. So you have to make 90-degree angle, and then you simply have to extrapolate it like this one. So my point is that you have to make simply two 90-degree angles at point B and at point A, and draw 90-degree angle and extend it like this one. So you can label it as T2 and T2 dash. So actually two topics have been covered in this simple uh, example, that you have to make one tangent at one point, or you have to make two tangents at the end point of the diameter. So both are covered in this illustration or in this diagram. First of all, we will draw one circle of radius 3.5 centimeter. Then we will mark a point P that will be about 8 centimeter from center of the circle, and label this point as P. So from point P, we have to draw two tangents or two touching lines to this circle. So how to complete it? That in the very first step, you have to first join point O to P with the line segment like this one, and then taking point O as O and P one by one, we have to draw intersecting arcs, right? Like this one. First arc by taking O as center, and then by taking P as center, we have to draw intersecting arcs. So we need to make perpendicular bisector for O to P. And for perpendicular bisectors, so you have to draw a perpendicular bisector, and you can label it as point, for example, M point, which is the midpoint of O to B as a result of perpendicular bisector of OP. So you can make this line as dotted, or I've changed the color as blue, right? So now you have to make another circle, another dotted circle, by taking M as center, right? You will place the nib of the compass at point M, and you will open the compass till M to P, for example, and then you have to draw another circle. तो एम से पी रेडियस का एक आपको और सर्कल लगाना है, जिसको मैंने रेड कलर से ड्रॉ किया है। एक्चुअल सर्कल आपका पिंक कलर में ड्रॉ था, जो 3.5 सेंटीमीटर रेडियस का है। एक डॉटेड सर्कल लगाना है, जिसको मैंने यहाँ पे रेड कलर में इंडिकेट किया हुआ है, बिकॉज ये सॉफ्टवेयर में डॉटेड सर्कल नहीं लग सकता, तो मैंने इसका कलर चेंज कर दिया। सो एक्चुअल सर्कल आपका पिंक है, स्मॉलर वन। डॉटेड सर्कल जो है उसको एम टू पी रेडियस लिया, एम सेंटर, एंड वी हैव ड्रॉन अ सर्कल। चाहिए क्या था, हमें चाहिए थे जी दो पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरसेक्शन इस सर्कल का और एक्चुअल सर्कल का, ठीक है। ये डॉटेड सर्कल है रेड में, जैसे मैंने बताया आपको, आप इसको पूरा सर्कल बना सकते हैं, देन यू कैन मेक कुछ पॉइंट्स पे आप इसको इरेजर से इरेज कर दें, देन इट विल बिकम अ डॉटेड सर्कल, राइट। सो इस तरह से इसको आपने डॉटेड कर लेना है। जहाँ पर ये डार्क सर्कल को इंटरसेक्ट करें, उन पॉइंट्स को आपने लेबल कर लेना। फॉर एग्जांपल इसको लेबल कीजिए T1 पॉइंट, इसको लेबल कर लें T1 डैश, फॉर एग्जांपल T2 भी कर सकते हैं, हाँ, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल ये T2 कर लें आप। देन फ्रॉम P पॉइंट यू हैव टू join a line, a long line till T1 like this one, इस तरह से, and then from P point join to T2 point like this one. Now the two tangents are drawn. So actually the pink is a given circle, and we were asked to draw the tangent from point P to this circle. So PT1 is the, you can say, tangent P to T1. This should be equals to P to T2. So this is the case when you have to draw a tangent from a point outside the circle. वो खुद बताते हैं आपको, लाइक, या वैसे ही आपको कहते हैं पॉइंट एक आउटसाइड सर्कल लें और वहाँ से आप टेंजेंट्स ड्रॉ करें। तो ये केस नंबर 2 है, विच इज़ फेमस फॉर ड्राइंग tangents to a circle from a point outside this circle। और ये इनकी जो लेंथ्स होती हैं ये हमेशा इक्वल होती हैं, लाइक P से T1 तक की जो लेंथ है इट विल बी इक्वल्स टू P टू T2 लेंथ, इस तरह से दे विल बी इक्वल। मैंने साइड पे मेंशन भी कर दिया, सो प्रैक्टिस इट जी। The new topic is about that we will draw two touching circles which will be touching externally. Touching circles mean that they will have one point of contact, uh, otherwise they will not be overlapping. So their radii is provided 4 centimeter and 3 centimeter. So what is required, that you have to make the sum of the two radii. First, like this is 4 plus 3 will become 7. So we will first make a 7 centimeter line, uh, as it is mentioned in the diagram. It is a line segment which is A to B. This is equal to sum of radii of the two given circles. For example, at point A, we will draw first circle, and this first circle will be of radius 4 centimeter, like this one. And we will draw another circle that will be of radius 3 centimeter, and we will be drawing it by taking B as center. So both the circles will be touching at point, for example, we will label this point as point P. Let's suppose it is some point P. So we have to make tangent at point P. These two are the touching circles. So these circles are touching each other externally at one point only. So this point is P. We have to draw the tangent at this point. And the procedure is very simple, that you will simply make 190-degree angle at point P. Like 90-degree angle will be done, like this sort of part will be made, and you have to make one tangent line passing through these points like this one. Just let me spy direction right here. Take 90-degree angle and at B, and simply make one tangent line, label it, for example, T1 and T1 dash. So this is a common tangent to two touching circles. So this is how you have to make two circles to two touching circles externally. So I hope you will be able to understand this. The topic is from exercise 13.3, and it is question number 9 in the exercise. So you can practice it. It is easy. The next topic is tangent to touching circles, but touching circles are internally touching each other. Radii are 4 and 3 centimeter respectively. So this is internally about the we have to uh, draw the touching circles internally. So you have to keep it in your mind that in this case you will have to take the difference of two radii to draw the line segment. So the first task should be that uh, you have to make one circle of larger radius, like for example 4 centimeter, and then you have to draw one of its uh, radius, like for example this is 4 centimeter radius. I have drawn the bigger circle and we label it, for example this is point A, it's both center of this bigger circle. Now we have to draw another circle inside it which should just touch the circle at one point. So for drawing second circle, you have to take the difference of radii, means that you have to subtract 4 centimeter minus 3 centimeter means equals to 1 centimeter. This will be the procedure. So what is required? By simply at point A, mark 1 centimeter at point B, let's suppose, and label this point as point B. So you have to keep it in your mind. Either you can use your compass by taking A as center 1 centimeter, simply intersect one arc, or you can use even your scale to measure 1 centimeter. So from a distance of 1 centimeter from center of the largest circle, you will mark point B. And now by taking B as the center, we will draw another circle whose center will be B point. So just let me draw the diagram like this one. And its center is B and its radius is, for example, 3 centimeter. I want to tell you, let's suppose this point is B now. So B to P is the radius of smaller circle. It is 3 centimeter, and A to P is the radius of the larger circle whose center is A, and A to P will be a 4 centimeter. Now we have to draw one tangent to both of these circles, or you can say a common tangent is required. So for that purpose, you just have to make 190-degree angle, and that's it. This will complete the diagram. You have to make 190-degree angle at point P. So obviously it will be like this one, and this can be obtained once you will simply make 190-degree angle at point P. So let's suppose this is T1, this is T2. So T1 to T2, it is the common tangent to the two touching circles in case of internally they are touching each other. So this is how you will be able to draw it. This is the topic of common tangents or tangents to two touching circles internally. ये exercise में question number 9 है, internally circles are touching internally. Question number 9 from exercise 13.3. Next topic is tangent to the arms of an angle. We will first make the angle, like for example it has been given to take 60-degree angle. So 60-degree angle will be made with the help of the compass, and you know very well that for making a 60-degree angle you need to make like an arc. First arc is of 60-degree, and then you will label it. For example, this is point B, for example this is O, and it is A point, for example. So AOB is of 60-degree as according to the question. So first you will make a 60-degree angle. Now we want to draw such a circle which should touch both the arms of the angle internally, right? Inside the arms of angles, it should touch the one circle. So what is the procedure for that one? That you have to draw first the bisector of the angle, and bisector of the angles are always drawn from initial and final values of the angle. 0 degree and 60 degree, you will draw two intersecting arcs, right? and you have to first made a 60-degree angle. 30, if it was 60 degree, then its bisection will become 30 degree. So bisection of the angle will be done. It is the first step. The next is you have to take any point anywhere on the angle bisector. Let's suppose I take point P right here. This is a P point. On the angle bisector, you have to take one point. And from point P, you have to draw one perpendicular. So how the perpendicular is drawn. So for the sake of the perpendicular, take P point and draw one arc on the arms of one arm of the angle. And from these 2 points, simply draw two further arcs in the, let's suppose, in the downward direction, like this one. And then you have to draw perpendicular. So from point P, you have to make one simple perpendicular on the arm O to A. So this point will become, you have to mark, for example, P to D will become this point D. By taking P as center and radius PD, we will draw a circle, and this circle will be touching two arms of angle. So just first let me draw it, then I will explain you that how I have done it. So taking P as center, P will be center and radius is P to D. Like this one. So by taking P as center and PD as radius, you will draw the circle and it will touch both the arms of angle of 60 degree. AOB's angle, OA and OB are its arms. So this circle will be touching two arms of the angle internally. So this is question number 11 in exercise 13.3, drawing tangent to the arms of an angle.